Hi guys. Something happened at work. I had been sharing some things and it led me to just want to come on here and share it with you guys. So it was some years ago that it was coming up to be the time anniversary of when I got baptized and filled with the Holy Ghost. And so I had been talking with God and I just said to him, hey, we should go on a date since it's our anniversary. And at the time where I was, there was a beautiful river walk. I thought, we could just go there and walk it and talk and reminisce about, all that he had brought me through. And so that was the plan that was set. In the morning of that day came, I was getting ready to start my day. And while I was, a thought came to my mind and it was said, I wonder if when we're on our date tonight, a man walks up and gives me something and it'll be like my anniversary present from Jesus. And I was like, well, that's just goofy. But I went about my day, and that night we had our date, and it was wonderful. It's in October, and so the fall colors on the trees, it was just gorgeous and wonderful. And so I was almost back to my car when a man walked up and handed me something. And it was a Bible tract. And at first I was so caught off guard and so freaked out that it just took me a minute, and he just handed me something and he said, we've been passing these out tonight and then I wanted to give you one, and then he was gone, and it was super quick. And so I was just like stunned, and I looked in my hand and it was a Bible tract, and on the cover there was a picture of a rose and it said, you have a date. And so ever since then, I go on dates with God, and it just, they ended up just being God would take me different places, and we would do different things. And it ended up to be just really turned into everything that He had planned that I would have never known. And these times with God have brought me healing. There's much trauma that I've been through in my life. And so God took me the different ways, methods of healing from all that, and also to realize my own worth, to be able to see myself how He sees me. And that is a huge problem. I know, not only for myself, but women and people in general today. Men can struggle with that too in their identity. And I think that not only families, but also society places this thing, especially on women, that you need a man. And like you're just less than if you don't have, and you need to have someone to put your arm around at night. Put your arm around your pillow. That pillow ain't never gonna lie to you. That pillow ain't never gonna go out on you. That pillow ain't ever gonna let you down. And so just a lot of lies and stupid things that the world, messages that they send out that just are wrong and lies and leave us bound and toxic and unhealthy. And so when you're that type of person, you're looking for another human being, whether you realize it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. You become a person who is looking for another person to heal you and help you, and you're latching on in an unhealthy way, like because you feel you're incomplete. And they have that stuff too, my soulmate, my, yeah, like, you complete me. That's bunk. No, you need God to complete you, or you're just going to be a wreck and a mess, latching onto another wreck of a mess, trying to get whole. And it's never going to happen, because we're looking to a human being to be for us what only God can be. And that can be the problem. So when you allow God to work in you and you have that relationship with Him, He builds that confidence in you. And then you are healthy minded and well enough to be able to be in a relationship appropriately and in a healthy manner. And so then you're a lot better off. And now there can be times where there's things in you that once you're married to the person that God has called you to marry, that God can use that person. Maybe there's different things, and a lot of times, like, your strengths are their weaknesses and vice versa. And there's things like that where God can use that person to help you heal in different areas, but that's something different than you subconsciously looking for someone to fill those voids. And then they get frustrated because they're not the healer. And it just creates a lot of chaos and toxicity and unhealthy junk. And another thing I wanted to share that was amazing was one day I was driving with a friend of mine. She and I were going, and I got off on the wrong exit. I was very unfamiliar territory, and I ended up getting off the freeway in downtown Chattanooga on the wrong exit, but it was exactly where God wanted me to be. We were at a red light. I was trying to figure out how to get back on the freeway, and I looked over and was so stunned to see a horse-drawn carriage. They have those in downtown Chattanooga. It has been my lifelong dream to be on a horse-drawn carriage, and I couldn't believe it. And it was nice to know, but I'm like, there's no way I could afford it. And so, like, the next week or so, I was thinking about, like, praying about what God and I were going to do on our date. And I kept getting this pull to some aquarium in Chattanooga. I didn't know nothing about it, had never been there before, but I kept getting this pull in it. And for me, I've learned that when it doesn't go away, then that's God. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to go to the aquarium. But when I went online to the website to try to get information and everything and directions and stuff, the website wouldn't work and it kept acting up. And I'm like, okay, well, and then, okay, your first thought is maybe it wasn't God. Maybe I'm not supposed to do that. And then I thought, well, hey, in the meantime, since that didn't work out, maybe I should look up those horse carriages and see, like, for future reference, at least I would know then in the future, like, how much it would be. And so I looked it up. God is unreal. It's very affordable. And then I also found out when it gave the information of where you go to start the carriage ride. It starts in front of the aquarium. And so the next weekend, after church, it was on a Sunday, I went down there, and it was just the experience of a lifetime that I never imagined. And the driver that I had, she said that she had been doing this for 5 years. She had never had just one rider. Yes. And that was the world to me, because God was teaching me I don't need a man to do these things. God is doing these things in me. And so that was just so empowering and helpful to me to understand that I can be the woman that God needs me to be by myself, and that having a relationship is an option and not a necessity. And when that time comes, it'll be something where it's God's doing and God's timing and God's leading, and not me looking and latching and begging. Because when you're that type of person, man or woman, and you're needy and you need somebody, and you're insecure and you're all these things that I used to be, the wrong kinds of people, oh, they got radars for that, and they detect that, and you subconsciously attract them. And so that is always going to be a problem until you're healed. And so I just wanted to make this video to encourage you guys to understand and know that you don't need a relationship, you need Jesus. And when you have a right relationship with him and help and let him change your vision about the world and everything else and how you see yourself, you'll be a better person to be in a relationship when that time comes. And so I hope this has helped you guys and been a blessing. You guys have a very blessed night. Bye bye.